Hey, what's up, friends? I'm Darkoburi the Collector. Welcome to this video where we're going to have a triple unboxing of Demon Slayer. For this special video, we have a triple unboxing of these SEGA figures, obviously from the Demon Slayer series. If you haven't already seen the Mugen Train arc, I recommend you go straight to watch both the second part of the series, the movie, and also check out the new arc that just came out where the main characters team up with another Hashira. I won't give too many spoilers so you can enjoy it, but let's unbox these 3 mega figures from SEGA. We'll use the Hashira because many of you have asked for Rengoku, and honestly, it's going to be exceptional, so stick around to watch. And to kick off this mega triple unboxing, we're going to start with the cherry on top. The first one we're going to unbox is Rengoku. Remember, he's the Flame Hashira, and both he and his father represented these pillars of fire. Here's the figure. Let's talk a little about the box, and honestly, here's the spoiler for your figure. Up here, we have Yaya and SEGA, the companies responsible for designing this figure. Down here, we have Rengoku and DPM, which are premium, so check these out. They're honestly impressive, and the whole saga comes in this type of figure. On this side, we have a kind of spoiler for the assembly. Here, they show us how to insert each of the pieces. Up at the top, we just have the name Demon Slayer. And here on the other side, on the other edge, we have images of both the main characters and the demon they're trying to find. Because, as you remember, at the start of the story, Tanjiro is looking for him to find a cure for Nezuko. I actually lost track of where I left Nezuko, but the idea is to make her stop being a demon. On the back, all the text is in Japanese, but what stands out down here is Aniplex, which is the company responsible for the animation of Demon Slayer. So, without further ado, let's do the unboxing of the Rengoku figure. Voila! Here we have our figure, our Rengoku piece, and honestly, as you can see, the assembly was pretty simple. There's the base, the sword, the part where the sword is stored, the legs, the head, and the torso. These are the parts that make up the assembly. It's very straightforward and practical, really. Like I said, you just fit the pieces together, and once you insert them, the whole figure becomes completely solid. Remember to keep it in a safe place, because if it falls, the pieces will probably come apart, but they won't actually break. That's something admirable. Now, let's talk about the piece in general, from the feet all the way to the head. First, let's talk about the detailing and the paintwork. Honestly, it looks exactly like it does in the anime. The eyes are bright, really wide open. And honestly, I really like this character, even though he only appears in the Mugen Train arc, and just for a little while. Most of the time, he's just saying delicious, which was absolutely perfect, since he was eating some really tasty things. But as people say, he was also super energetic. The hair, too, the way it has that fiery look, let's call it that, at the tips is something you see throughout his family. You can see it in his brother and his dad, who has yellow hair with red tips as well. Also, check out the back here. You can see some shaded red areas, which is what makes up the outfit of this flame pillar. Here we see the uniform they wear as part of the Demon Slayer Corps, right? It's really cool, and we should also notice that down here, around the back, and we'll do a close-up in a moment. It also has the symbol like the one Tanjiro Kamado has on his back. We can see the whole tunic, which is now the entire brown part of the clothing, from the collar all the way down to the feet. But what really stands out about him is this cape. If you think the same as I do, I used to think it looked kind of like a Hokage cape, like the one Naruto or Naruto's dad wore. And check it out. This cape honestly looks really impressive in these colors. White, then fading into yellow, and finally turning red at the tips. It has this effect as if it's torn at the bottom, but in reality, the piece is completely solid. The other thing that came separately, as I mentioned, is this piece here to hold the sword, and of course, the sword itself from this demon slayer, which is red. Why is that? Because we already saw that he was the flame Hashira. So here we have the inscription on this side, and on this other side there's nothing, but the entire blade is red. Check out how the whole upper part has a red color, but it's even more intense, like a darker shade. And the handguard here is also shaped like a flame, which is honestly an amazing detail they added to this weapon. It fits in super easily here. With others, I've had to take the weapon apart to insert it. But here, look how it just goes in without any problem. And as we've seen, the base underneath has the company's inscription. And now the only thing left to check out are these, the ankle guards, which come in this red and yellow color that gives off a flame effect. Honestly, if you haven't seen, like I mentioned, the Mugen Train arc, the fight he had against one of the upper demons was absolutely incredible. Just as impressive as this figure, which I'll leave here for you to check out in a close-up on Darkoburi's channel. And now, after this magnificent Rengoku piece, the next one we're going to unbox is this Nezuko figure right here. Honestly, we've already gone over the whole box section, so I'll keep it brief. Up here is the company's name, and here there's a little spoiler of what the figure will look like. But even so, it's definitely worth checking out for the finishes, the colors, and if it convinces you. Oh. Here we have the premium format of the SPM figures, and remember they're from the SEGA line. Here, there's just an image, you could say, from Demon Slayer, but on this side, there's nothing. This makes me wonder if the figure is made up of one piece or several pieces. With Kanku, we saw that it was 4 pieces, so let's see if with Nezuko it's one or several. And here on the back, all the way down here, you see the Aniplex logo and the whole format in Japanese. If you know what it says, leave it in the comments, because honestly, I still don't speak Japanese. But let's get to the important part, which is taking out the Nezuko figure and analyzing it here on the Darkoburi channel. And there we go, now we have the complete figure here. Let's see if it came as a single piece, aside from the base. The whole figure here, Nezuko, honestly impressed me a lot, especially the paint job. Let's say the brown that Rengoku had, both on the clothes and elsewhere, didn't really convince me, but here we see that Nezuko is literally flawless. Let's start with the hair. We already know she has black hair with this red part in the back. If you remember, last year we did the unboxing of the Rio versus the fake. There, you could see how the hair was totally broken, the color completely messed up. If you haven't seen it, check it out. That video will teach you how to tell your original pieces from the fakes, the ones we call bootlegs. So here, even though it's not a prize figure, it's from SEGA, and we see the colors and the hair are flawless, and the shape too. Another thing Nezuko has is this little pink bow on her head. But what impressed me most about this figure, and what I like the most, is the color of the eyes. Check out how well defined the eyes are. The color is really clear, and it has that pink shade in the eyes. Honestly, they nailed it. So here we have Nezuko, or as you all colloquially call her, a really good waifu. So I'll leave her here, and then the extra thing she has in her mouth. Remember, It's a piece of bamboo because she's a demon who has the urge to consume human blood and flesh, so she wears it so she doesn't attack anyone else. Her outfit is completed with this part of the tunic in a somewhat dark color, and the whole dress in front is pink. Here, the belt is also really well detailed. The green line at the top, the belt in the middle, and everything else is checkered. And what matches here are the shoes she wears with her dress. Everything else is totally Nezuko. And honestly, I really like this piece. Let me know in the comments which one you liked more, Rengoku or Nezuko. But now I'll leave you so you can take a closer look at Nezuko in detail with the close-up here on the Darkoburi channel. And for the third and final unboxing in this special SEGA edition video of Demon Slayer, we have Zenitsu. Let's remember that he's one of the main characters, but this time I didn't bring Kamado Tanjiro. I'm saving him for another, even more special occasion. But here, as you can see, are the company names, the premium format, the spoiler, and somewhere around here there was a note saying it's for kids or adults over 15 years old. It's always been a bit confusing to me because, for example, Rengoku does come with some slightly small pieces, but here Nezuko doesn't have any extra accessories that a young child could swallow or that could cause problems. But anyway, this figure does come with, as we'll see, some additional assembly. It's not going to be a single solid piece like Nezuko. It's going to be a bit more like Rengoku. But now let's get to what you really care about. The unboxing, assembling the figure, and showing you the details up close so you can decide whether or not to buy your SEGA figures here on the Darkoburi channel. And there you have it. Here we already have the Zenitsu figure. Honestly, it's also impeccable, and I actually like the color of the cape even more here. Check out how the whole cape has all these triangles and some horizontal stripes on the sleeves. They're perfectly drawn. I really like the contrast from the orange to a bit more yellow, and then it kind of fades to white near the neck area. Honestly, it's really, really awesome, and I really like the paint job in that regard. Here, on the same piece, we see Zenitsu, who also has yellow hair. Like I've always said, in anime, look for the main character. They all have black hair. And then there are these exotic characters where you just know who's going to be the protagonist. Here, he has yellow hair with orange colors, which very few people in real life are ever going to have, and even fewer are going to be born with this kind of hair. But what's interesting here is how the weapon was placed. It came with half of the sword, and the sheath was attached at the hip, so that when it's like this, you just fit it in and it gives the appearance that he's already fainted and about to draw his weapon, ready to attack. Everything else is the Demon Slayer core uniform, which is exactly the same here as Rengoku's, with the same symbol on the back. I'll show you a close-up in a moment so you can see this symbol really up close. And what sets each of them apart is what they wear here to cover their feet. Here we can see the orange and a bit of yellow look, with triangles on both, now on both ankle guards, and the sandals he wears, his shoes, are white here. This pose, let's remember that he would lose consciousness, which is why his eyes are completely closed, and that's another detail I liked. The eyebrows, painted yellow like this, are really well highlighted, well painted. Honestly, the paint job on this figure deserves a perfect 10. And now I'm going to let you watch the direct close-up of Zenitsu here on the Darkoburi channel. Now's the time for you to leave a comment about which of the 3 pieces you like the most. Personally, I really love the replica they made of Rengoku's sword. It's so awesome that I just couldn't hold back my excitement. And I'm bringing you this mega spectacular second unboxing, or rather, the second part of this mega unboxing where we have the replica of Rengoku's sword. So don't go anywhere, because we're about to get to the most special part of this video. And here we have the replica of Rengoku's sword. Honestly, it's super awesome, which is why I keep telling you over and over to go watch the Mugen Train. You won't get tired of it. But you can also check out the videos I have here on the Darkoburi channel, where I show the replica of Kamado Tanjiro's sword. That way, you'll get an idea of the surprise that's coming up here, of what's inside the box. Check it out, it's the Rengoku figure, which is why I did the unboxing of him first, but it's also going to be the last part of the unboxing. He deserves a spot as the star of this unboxing. Over here on this side, you can see the full form of the sword with some instructions. And here comes the full spoiler of what we're about to do, the unboxing of the piece. On this side, there's another part here of Rengoku along with his sword. And let's remember that these are replicas. I had quite a few problems getting this piece through customs. But now, thanks to God and all of you, we have this replica to do the unboxing here on our Buri's channel. And there you have it. That's how Rengoku's sword looks once it's assembled. If you notice, it's just like the one we have in our SEGA figure. But keep in mind that this is going to be a Bandai figure, a Tamashii Nation's figure. So get ready because Tamashii Nation's quality is simply undeniable. Here we have the replica of the sword, and we're obviously going to start with the handle. All of this is designed to look like a bandage. Why is that? So that when you actually grab the sword by the handle, it doesn't slip or slide out of your hand. But here, at the very bottom, we see a little flame in shades of orange and yellow. On this side, it continues with the same pattern, and honestly, the pattern is super cool. It starts again right here at the edge, like they say, on the razor's edge, and it begins with Rengoku's signature colors, both orange and yellow. Here we see the replica of this flame effect, but what surprises me is that when you hold it, the flame points downward. You have to pay attention to the details because the same thing happens with the sword that comes with the figure. And it also has the same inscription here on this side. It's the same inscription we have here on our little SEGA figure. This inscription here, you can already see all the detailing. And honestly, this white color really makes it stand out on the blade. And on the blade, it has all the red color, now really like fire along the edge, and a slightly more intense, a bit darker red up here at the top. Just as an additional note, right here in the middle of the blade's edge, there's a small detail, like it was a tiny nick or a paint imperfection. But the blade itself is perfectly fine. It's completely made of plastic, and the safety instructions that come with it say to be especially careful with this area, since it could be a little sharper. But honestly, it's not a big deal. It's not sharp enough to actually cut you. And all the other pieces, as you can see, like I said, don't have any sharp edges. Since it's a plastic piece, there's no problem if you play with it or if one of your kids grabs it by accident. Another thing you should keep in mind is that it doesn't include batteries, and you will need them. You remove this part of the handle, and that's where you'll insert the batteries. Remember that earlier, in the Kamado Tanjiro section, we showed you all the sounds, so stick around because we're about to get to that part where I stop talking and the sword does all the work. And now, remember that we have the buttons down here. This button on this side, the first one, is called the A button, and here is the B button. What you need to do is hold down the A button, and then you'll hear a small sound, like the weapon is being unsheathed. After that, you keep pressing it consecutively, and you'll hear what sounds like a sword slash. It has about 3 variations. The second crucial thing to remember is with the B button. You also need to hold it down firmly and attentively listen to the captivating and immersive song that plays continuously in the background throughout the entire experience. Here, you can easily switch again with the B button. Just listen closely, and you will distinctly hear Rengoku's powerful voice and the accompanying background music playing clearly. Hold it down to remove the music and you can hear only the voice. There are quite a few voice combinations there. Hahira interrupted me a bit there, but the one I like the most is when he said "Am I?" Remember, that's when he said something was delicious, and he said it a lot. I've gone through all the sounds here several times, and honestly, he doesn't say it. It's something I wish had been included with the sword. Let's listen a bit more, and that's not all. If you hold the button down again, it changes modes. Let's press it again, but this time without holding it down. There it is, the first fire form of the Hashira, and as you keep pressing it, the manual says that on the 9th one. Let's keep pressing it to get to the 9th. There are some additional voice lines. The second form is present, then there's the third, and most notably, on the 9th form, you will distinctly hear a variety of different and powerful battle cries emanating from the sword while it is actively performing the intricate movements of that specific form. I briefly skipped ahead to the 10th form, just to check, but let's see. Well, unfortunately, I couldn't locate or activate the very last one in this demonstration. However, the core concept and exciting feature is that specifically on the 9th form, when you press button A to initiate and activate the complex 9th form, if you then simultaneously or immediately press button B, you will be treated to a rich array of various, authentic, and recognizable shouts and vocalizations that are directly sourced from Rengoku himself, as heard in the highly acclaimed movie. Honestly, this feature is incredibly practical, remarkably immersive, and truly enhances the overall experience. It's important to note that the device will eventually turn itself off automatically after a period of inactivity. That is to say, once it powers down, you will need to hold down button A again for a sustained period to reactivate it and bring it back to life later. If you happen to leave it completely idle and untouched for more than 10 minutes, nothing at all will happen when you press the buttons. No sounds, no lights, no response whatsoever. In such a scenario, you will absolutely have to hold down button A once more to get it functioning and responsive again. So, with all these incredible details and functionalities, here I am bringing you an exceptionally detailed close-up view and demonstration of Rengoku's magnificent sword, presented right here on the Darkoburi channel, for all our dedicated viewers and fans to enjoy. And you know, if you liked the video, leave a comment, and if you didn't, leave one too. While you're at it, let me know in the comments which of the pieces you liked the most. I know you're going to vote for Rengoku's sword, but between the two swords, Rengoku's and Kamadu Tenjiro's, Which one do you like more? Honestly, I lean more toward the Pillar Sword, obviously, because he's a more powerful character, superior. And speaking of superior, you should also head over to Darkoburi's social media. Drop a super powerful like, show your love, tell me whatever you want in the comments. Don't forget to turn on notifications, and make sure to subscribe to each and every one of our social networks. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Also, check out our website where we have figures, pieces, and Darkoburi collectibles like thermoses, mugs, keychains, hats, and so much more. We even have shirts. Anything you want from the Darkoburi universe can be delivered straight to your home or as a gift for a friend. And if you want us to do an additional unboxing, like for video games, anime, or any other series, or anything related to comics, leave it in the comments. We listen to every single one of you. You all told me, hey, we need something from the mighty flame pillar Rengoku, and here it is. So leave everything in the comments. Remember to react, share the video because it helps us a ton, and leave your comment to participate in the trivia to win the Mega Goku piece. And you already know, Darkoburi, peace out.